because I kept crashing the buses, they put me on desk duty. So, yeah, I went in for a disciplinary and came up with a promotion, really. But I'm driving again now, though. I am driving again now, but I just work within the apprenticeship side. So now all new drivers are apprentices, but they've also promoted me again, where I'm now an IQA and an assessor. But I still drive whenever I get the chance, because I still identify as a bus driver. Some identify as male, some identify as female, but I identify as a bus driver. So Levi tries to say, you're not a bus driver. I am a bus driver.
Are you driving the buses at the moment? Or
Yeah.
Oh, you still do a bit of both? So
Yeah, I
like
do. I'm
hybrid.
lucky now because I get the best of both worlds, and now I get paid more to do what I love. Whereas if I was a full-time bus driver, I wouldn't be getting paid as much.
You got promoted?
I know, can you
Oh, that's
believe it?
great. Yeah, that's great.
I got promoted, man.
That means that they see something, you know,
Yeah.
in you not to,
Yeah, I was happy. I was going to come in and drive buses for the next 30 years, but they thought, no, we need you doing this. And sometimes I think they engineered it as well. You crashed one too many buses. But the thing is, I was lucky because I was getting so many commendations. I was so grateful to have a job. I was looking at the sky instead of looking at the roads. I was like, oh, thanks God for this job. Because even though I was an addict, one thing I wasn't addicted to was work. And I had like 2 decades on benefits. I only really went to work because the youngest was 5 and I didn't want them kicking me into a job that I didn't want to do. So I thought, all right, let me try for the underground because I want to be a train driver and get 60k a year. I got that job, but then that was January 2016, but they didn't have any training days. I remember out of 18 of us that went, 2 people, me and some other person, got the job on the underground, on the night tube, Friday and Saturday night. So they didn't have any training dates. So 6 months after that, after getting the underground, I applied for the buses because I'm thinking like, the benefits people are on my case and I need to find some work. So I got the buses as well. And then 6 months after getting that, because I kept on getting commendations and got nominated for Top London Bus Driver. And by the time the year came, a year after getting the job, they said, oh, we got some training dates available. And I was thinking, I like it on the buses, man. I like seeing the sky. So I sort of like told them I didn't want the job again and stayed on the buses, which I'm really glad I did. I mean, people say, oh, why don't you be a bus driver? Because you go in as a customer service assistant and they offer the jobs internally. But for me, if I never got that train driving job, I would have gouged my eyes out in boredom. Like sitting on that gate line, you just see them like falling asleep, or it's cold down there as well. And oh, no. So I think like everything is as it should be, and if it's not meant to be, I can't make it happen. But if it is meant to be, I can't stop it. And I think this was definitely meant to be. But what I was saying about the bus driving, like I said, I was a newbie, man. I was a rookie, so I was driving around, being grateful that I had a job, looking at the sky instead of looking at the road. I was like, oh, thanks God for this job. And I kept on having accidents, like knocking the mirrors off, knocking out the back doors, and I had a disciplinary, and the thing is, the driver was like the manager, because of all my customer commendations, she nominated me for Top London Bus Driver, and I was saying to the accident prevention team, like, oh, don't need commendations, the customer commendations cancel out the accidents, and it's like, no, Natasha, it doesn't work like that. You're still in trouble. And then the bus drivers at the garage were saying, oh, how come she's been nominated for Top London Bus Driver when she keeps crashing the buses? And and I remember we went to the Troxy, out of 20,000 drivers, I was one of 8 finalists for Top London Bus Driver, which I just thought, yes, like...
You said 20,000?
20,000,
wow.
20,000 or 25,000 drivers. This was 2018. And we went to the Troxy Limehouse, and 3rd prize wasn't me, 2nd prize wasn't me, so I got up to get my 1st prize, and it wasn't me. I thought, shame. No. Some white man walking away with my Perspex prize with his name on it. So I was thinking, why did you dangle this carrot in front of my face, God? I mean, if I was white, I would have turned beetroot. But I got 100 quid though. I came 4th, got 100 quid, which was nice. But then I went back to the garage, had another accident, and then they...
When you're having these accidents, is it just kind of like knocking a mirror? Or...
Yeah, it's nothing major, but they said that all the minor could turn into a major, like, don't want to like run anyone over or anything like that.
And what happens if you crash a bus?
You get, you have to go and see the accident prevention, you're put on a call list, you see the accident prevention people, and they give you guidance. They give you like verbal warning, written warning, final written. I think I must have been on the final written warning. So they, luckily I did a pre-promotion course, and then this assessor role came up, and I was saying, no, I want to be a bus driver. But after the final accident, they said, no, you got to like, basically we're giving you an ultimatum. You either do this job or you bugger off. So, and to me, at the time, I was so depressed. They banned me from driving their vehicles for like 9 months, which was stretched out to 11 months because my manager like kind of needed me for the apprenticeship. But now I'm driving again, and to me, that's great. It's like, it takes the edge off. Like, I'm calling up the garage stuff, like, hey, what do you got for me? What do you got for me? So I can do, like, so I can get driving jobs, because it like, to me, I like to be at one with my apprentices. I've got about 30 odd apprentices, 30, 40 apprentices.
So you look after them?
Yeah. So I'll make sure they do the 53-week program, send them tasks. What else did I do? Make sure they're doing their work properly, like by marking them. Because there's a functional skills element as well, there's a minimum level 1 standard that they've got to like put capital letters, full stops. What else do they do? Making sure they've got the 20% off the job hours, make sure they're coming back for their callback weeks. If they've got to do functional skills, making sure they're putting the practice for that. Because some of the apprentices have been on the apprenticeship for a while because they can't pass the functional skills side, which is annoying because we've got to be getting them out as fast as we're getting them in, which isn't really happening. But it's all good. It's all about upskilling. We're going to have the most intelligent bus drivers on the land because like some people are like, oh, why do we have to do maths and English when we're not taking money anymore? But it's like, don't shoot the messenger. I just work here. So yeah, it's been great. It's been great on the buses.
Do you like working there?
I love being a bus driver. I love it, man. It's like, find a job you love and you'll never work a day in your life. It's like I'm just driving around, picking people up, dropping them off, saying hi, saying bye. An empty bus is a happy bus. So, yeah.
What was your route, or what was your
My
bus?
route? Well, basically, because I was so hungry for knowledge, I went out and learned about 10 routes in the first 2 months at the garage. So I do like Merton. I started off at Merton, but now I work within training and recruitment at... Shit, I shouldn't have said that. Now I work within... I used to work in Merton somewhere, in South London somewhere.
Is that South West Merton, is it?
South West, yeah.
Oh, right, okay,
yeah.
yeah.
Now I work within the academy up in...
Yeah.
So as not to identify and get myself in trouble. But yeah, so... what were you saying? What was the question? I've forgotten to see a rabbit. So I forget what I'm saying. What I'm saying, it's like amnesia is sitting in.
But how long
Since
have you
being a
worked there?
grandma, oh my God. I'll be there... It will be 7 years on the 27th of this month. Now I've become a workaholic. I'm working 60-hour weeks, 13-hour days, having 13-hour days, 13 days straight, day off, another 13 days. I love it, man. I can't get enough of it. I really love being on the buses.
How do you feel about kind of like the career change into being a bit more office space or?
I'm not really, I'm a road man. I like being on the road. And the day goes quickly as well. 1 minute you're in Victoria, then you're in Tooting, then you're in Victoria. Oh yeah, that's what you said. So it's about the routes. So I've learned about 10 routes in the first 2 months. So I do all the buses down the south side. 44, 57, I think 131, 152, 163, 164, 200, 270, 219, 155, 118, G1. I know the 77, but I haven't done that. 493, 39. So I know about 15 different routes.
That's
the main
quite a
ones
lot.
I'm doing at the moment is the G1, the gangster #1, baby, which is Stratton to Battersea. But with that route, it goes all around the houses. So, but I love it. I love driving it, but I hate being a passenger on it.
All right, fair enough.
Yeah, a passenger. I remember I got on it once, like when I never worked for the company, and I had to get off at Clapham South. I thought, what the f is this? Like, just trying to get to Tooting, and it was taking like over an hour to get there.
Yeah. I think we started off kind of like on your job. So
Yeah.
if we can introduce you, what's your name? It's
My name's Natasha. I should say Tash, being on your top lip.
That's what I was going to ask, yeah, because you said you prefer to be called Tash.
Yeah, I'm Natasha when I'm in trouble, so
All right.
Tash. Or Nat. Some people call me Nat.
Nat,
so,
okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
And, okay, you're a bus driver. You lived in London your whole life? Or?
Yeah. Born and bred Londoner. Born in Queen Mary's, Roehampton. Grew up in Wandsworth. Went to school in Westminster. My mum thought we were better educated in Westminster than in Wandsworth. So when I got to school, I got bullied. I got called names.
Why Westminster? Just like...
She thought we were better educated in Westminster.
Yeah, I understand
I told them that we were moving out there.
And what kind of year was it?
That
you
was
kind of
in
started school?
80. So I was born in 75. God, I've told you how old I am now. Like the bus that drives around here somewhere. And
So it was in the 80s.
it was in the 80s.
What was
yeah.
it like in Westminster in the 80s? Going to school?
Well, I was the only black girl in the class. I wanted to be
The
like
only
everyone
one?
else. Yeah.
Wow.
There was like out of 278 people in the school or kids, there was like only like 7 black children in that whole school. If you got one in the class, and if you got 2, it was because one was a diplomat and they weren't going to be there for that long. So,
Okay, right,
yeah.
right.
So I must admit, I did. When I was growing up, I did feel I had a lot of self-hatred. I haven't got it now. I know I'm a beautiful black Nubian queen now. But I had a lot of stuff. I just wanted to be like everyone else. I wanted to belong. I wanted to have long blonde hair and blue eyes, but I didn't have Michael Jackson's money, so I couldn't afford the bleach, basically. Ended up stealing to make me feel better about me.
I think
Yeah.
some people feel like a complex issue sometimes.
Yeah,
because-
definitely. And when I went to secondary school, it was like a culture shock because there was like about 6 of us. I thought, what? I'm used to being the only one. What's going on here?
It's like everybody hates Chris, isn't it?
Yeah.
I've already seen that, yeah.
Yeah. No, it was a good school. I was classically trained, so I grew up like, it's like Eminem being a rapper. I grew up like playing violin and piano and
Wow.
trumpet and recorder and all
Can you
that
still
kind
play
of
all
stuff.
that now? Do you still
Yeah,
remember
I
a bit?
still play a bit of Mozart and Beethoven.
That's amazing.
On the piano. I've got a piano at home. Still like play a little bit of guitar. Well, strum some chords. But yeah, I do love music. Music, yeah, I couldn't live without it.
So what's your best instrument, or what do you like playing?
With the violin, I got up to grade 5. And the piano, I got up to grade 5. I got merits, but because I didn't do the grade 5 theory, I couldn't go on any further to do like up to 8 where you can teach and stuff like that. But I used to play for the LSSO, which was the London School Symphony Orchestra. Played with Dudley Moore. That sounds a bit ambiguous. Played with him in the orchestra. He's dead now, God rest his soul. He's an actor with Peter Cook. Might not have heard of him because it might be like definitely showing my ears now. But yeah, that was good, playing in the orchestra.
Okay. And what kind of inspires you in life on a day-to-day?
What inspires me? Money. And lots of it. I need a lottery win, man. God, if I could win the lottery, I'd still work. That's what I'm saying.
Did you play the lottery?
No.
How are you going to win it?
My partner plays it.
Okay, right.
So he plays. Please win, God. Then I'll just drive. I'll go back to driving buses. I'm afraid, to be honest, I'm afraid to go back to driving buses full time in case I have another accident. They
Wait, so if
definitely
you
get
win
me.
the lottery, you'd go back to driving buses?
Yeah.
So it's a genuine passion?
Yeah,
Wow,
it really is.
that's
I know,
good.
I'm one of the only drivers that likes driving buses.
It's
They
very
think I'm
hard for
crazy.
people to get like a genuine passion nowadays.
Yeah,
That's what
I
it is.
definitely, it's like I do it for free, getting paid as a bonus. That's a lie. But the thing is, yeah, what is it about the buses?
So would you say that inspires you?
Yeah, I just like, what inspires me? Oh God, that's a good question. Yeah, what inspires me?
Is it family, music, a bit of everything?
Yeah, music definitely. I love music. I love my job. I love being in recovery from addiction because for me, that is what's given me the life I've got today. Okay. It really has. 10 years ago, I wouldn't even have dreamt. If somebody said, oh, in 10 years you're going to be doing that, I wouldn't have believed them at all. Like, it's like my life, it's like I'm a born again Christian. It's like I've got 2 lives in one.
Are you religious?
No.
Oh, right.
Well,
I know what you mean. It's like a fresh...
Well, I say I'm more spiritual
Okay.
than like I do like pray every morning, like say a couple psalms. In the morning, you wake up, you read a couple of psalms, and I write a gratitude list of like 10 things I'm grateful for.
Every morning?
Yeah, definitely that gratitude list because gratitude turns what you have into enough. So I definitely have to do the gratitude list. With the yeah. Oh, do you know what I was going to say? Something I've forgotten. Oh, what was I going to say? You asked me something, and that's
I think it was what inspires you. That's what I asked.
Yeah.
But I mean, with the gratitude list, would you say that's what makes you so kind of happy and bright?
Yeah, I'm just happy. When I wake up in the morning, I thank God for waking me up and giving me another chance to be better and do better. Yeah. Because it wasn't like this just a few years ago. It just wasn't like this, and I didn't think I would ever be able to stop doing what I was doing. But yeah, it's yeah, I've done it, and to me, inspiring. What inspires me? Living clean and sober inspires me because then it means that I can be an example to others. Really, just be an example to others. Yeah, show my kids that I know they grew up with a lot of skullduggery, but that you can. Yeah, you can get clean, stay clean, change your life, and yeah. And a lot of the things that sometimes I think that what's going on in my kids' lives at the moment, sometimes I do blame myself for stuff that's going on in some of their lives at the moment. But I do feel like I'm here now. I've got to stop blaming myself for what happened and just keep doing what I'm doing. Make that living amend by staying on the straight and narrow. And I say narrow, it's not even narrow because my life has just blown up. It really has. It really has blown up. Yeah, there was no light at the end of the tunnel. I nearly lost everything, like, yeah, social services and, yeah, so, but it's not like that today. It's really good today. I say really good, it could be better. I could have more money. But it's not all about money, actually. The best things in life are free. So, yeah.
So you say you mentioned recovery.
Yeah.
What was that from, if you don't mind me asking?
From addiction.
Yeah.
And I think it was alcohol at first. It was alcohol, but then it went on to other things.
Yeah.
And it went on to other things. And basically, the social worker said, "Oh, like, if you don't go into rehab, we're going to take your kids." And I had 3 at the time. They were 9, 7, and 8. And I was angry at the fact that this social worker who didn't have any kids was telling me how to bring up my kids, first of all. And then I was angry at the fact that I had kids, because I thought if I didn't have kids, then no one would care. And I'm just another statistic. And brrr. That's the way my head works. And I'm just 100 miles an hour. And that's why I was shutting it down with all this stuff. And I remember they thought I had bipolar. And they didn't know if the bipolar was, if I was self-medicating the bipolar with the alcohol and the drugs, or if the alcohol and drugs were mimicking the symptoms of the bipolar. So I remember they gave me these pills to take, and they made me put weight on, and I thought, I'm not taking these. I'd rather be thin and mad than fat and sane. Stopped taking these pills, started running around the common. And it's just been like, I remember waking up in A&E and having resentments with the paramedics, because I had this wicked Ghostbusters hoodie, and it had a zip. But they decided to cut it into an S. I'm thinking, I know they were trying to save my life as well, but you cut it into an S when there was a zip. I can't even get that back now. Even my Batman t-shirt, cut that. And that's all. The thing is, I was blaming everyone else, blaming social services, but it wasn't them, it was me. What this recovery stuff shows me is that I've got to, like they say, if you're pointing the finger at someone else, there's 3 pointing back at you. And if you're taking me out of blame, it's just blah, blah, blah. So I've just got to stop blaming other people and being accountable for my own actions, and realising that there's a way out. And thankfully, and the thing is, like I said, I found this stuff 20 years ago. I went into rehab the first time, and it took a few goes, because I just was in denial, and that's not just the river in Egypt. But thankfully, I think I should be 20 years, but I'm actually 10, and I'm really grateful for that 10. I'm grateful I'm in double digits now. But the thing is, doesn't matter how clean or whatever you are, if I don't do certain things, the old thinking can come in, and then I'm back to where I was. And it's just, so life is much nicer this way, and I'm going to just keep putting one foot in front of the other, for whatever, backward, never. Yes.
That's good. That's a good way to look at it, definitely.
Yeah.
With the alcoholism, do you feel like it leads to other things?
Yeah, definitely. All kinds of, and they were saying in rehab that if you're allergic to one drug, you're allergic to them all. And there was some woman in there, she used to say, there's like a 12-step recovery program, and she used to say, we come for our drinking, we stay for our thinking, look back but don't stare. If you don't change, you're going to remain the same person that needed to drink. We suffer from alcoholism, not alcoholism. The alcohol is in the bottle, the ism is in us. One day you'll find a peace that passes all understanding, think. And that was always upside down, which made me think. You can have alcohol in one hand and the rest of your life in your other, but you can't have both. And for so long I tried to marry the two, and it was everything else. It was never the alcohol. And they used to have these acronyms like HALT, hungry, angry, lonely, tired. So if you're ever vibrating on one of those, you could be in relapse mode, or slip when sobriety loses its priority, or making sure you put your recovery first. Anything you put in front of your recovery, you lose. And make sure you get to at least 3 meetings a week. And I'm thinking, why do we have to do 3? I want to do 1. I'm going to do the Friday night one. That's my favourite one. But you had to do 3, otherwise you would get put on contract and get kicked out. So all these things they put in place, and it is a 12-step program, but I live by 2 rules today. Rule number 1, don't pick up no matter what. And rule number 2, don't forget rule number 1. And I've got to keep it that simple. Just don't pick up. No matter what happens, no matter what doesn't happen, a drink or a drug is not going to make it any better. It's just going to make it worse, because you're going to have to relapse, plus all the carnage that comes with that. So, yeah.
All right. What does it mean when you say put on contract?
Like a contract, so they will kick you out if you don't do what they say. Like, you have to be put on, you have to do certain things. You're not allowed any alcohol and drugs on the premises. You're not allowed to, you have to go to a certain amount of meetings a week. They suggest doing 90 and 90, which is like doing a meeting a day, really. But at least 3. 1 for yourself, 1 for the newcomer, 1 just in case. And sometimes as well, they say, the newcomer's the most important person in the meeting. So it's like I used to keep relapsing so I could be the most important person. But I don't think that's what they meant. They did not mean that. And they got these acronyms like ego, easing God out, or yet you're eligible to. So no matter, or complacency, when you get complacent, complace your ass on the seat. So just don't get complacent. Resentful, don't get resentful, because it's resentments that will make you drink because of something that's going on outside you. And it's all about feelings. You're drinking and using on feelings outside of your control. So in the end, it's all about love, tolerance, and acceptance of people, places, and things as they are. And once you can get that acceptance, then you're not really too bothered about what other people are doing. You just got to just focus on yourself and what you can control. Yes. So.
Okay, right.
Enough said. Boring you with recovery talk. Yeah.
Okay, and you know, you went to rehab. Was that for the alcohol? Was that for something?
So it's
okay, right.
it was an alcohol rehab. So I went there. I think I went like every 5 years. I went in 2003, 2008, and then the last time I went was in 2013, and there was another couple in between that. But the last time I went in as a resident, but I didn't want to do that first because I felt like, oh, I'm going to go in and do this 6-month stretch and then come out and think, where's the nearest off license? With the, it wasn't even I was thinking, oh, a 6-month stretch. There were no locks on the doors. You could leave at any time, but I had to just change the way I thought about certain things. So it's all to do with my thinking, and then once thinking and behaviours. So once I went in there, I sort of like learned a new way to manage my life without doing this stuff. Like now I can handle the stuff that I used to drink on. If I had a broken toenail, I'd drink, or if it was raining, I'd drink, or if it was sunny, I'd drink, or if somebody pissed me off, I'd drink. So yeah, thankfully I don't have to go back to that today.
No, that's good.
Yeah.
If you don't mind me asking, when did the alcoholism kind of start to change into other things?
Probably in 1990, probably 95, probably 96 actually.
Okay, and how old were you then?
Oh God, about 21, something like that. Yeah, about 21. Yeah, I split up with the older three dad because I've got two baby father. 3 for one and 2 for the other. And I met this guy who introduced me to crack. And I was like, hi Natasha, hi Nat, hi crack. And so I sort of got into that, which wasn't great at all. It wasn't a great place to be. Yeah.
But how do you feel when you're on crack?
I felt very stimulated. The thing is, like, people see me now and they think, God, I'd hate to be with you when you were on that because you're very intense. So, yeah, you just don't really want to be around anyone when you're on that stuff. Like, it was like really that and alcohol. And then other things, it's like whatever it was, I just wanted more of it. That's the thing, I just didn't have enough. And the thing is, it's like I was always trying to stop, but I just couldn't stay stopped. There was always something that would make me go back on it. But with this program of recovery, program of action, it kind of helps you stay stopped. So now I'm like 3,672 days, which I'm not counting. I've got an app that does me now. So, yeah, so...
Oh, congratulations! That's very
good.
Yeah,
it's all right, man. Because
I mean, my idea of it is, you know, one thing is a gateway for something else.
Yeah.
And it's a gateway for something else.
Yeah. So alcohol, weed.
Is that how it is?
Weed and
yeah.
I remember my dad rather we smoked weed with him because he didn't want us getting any bad batches of other people. My mum wasn't too happy about that, but she. But he's a Rasta, so. Yeah,
that's what I was going to ask. Yeah, because I know you're Jamaican. Were both your parents Jamaican? Or?
Yeah, my mum was, but he's first generation and she's second generation. So he was born out there and he came here he was born in 56, came here when he was 9 in 65 to live with his aunt who couldn't have kids. And my mum, she was one of 11, so she was the 8th one, but she was the first one born here. So, yeah. I think, why did you leave paradise? But it is what it is.
Were you born here then?
Yeah, I was born here in 75, Queen Mary's, Roehampton. Sounds posh, but it's really not. Now I drive the bus past there when I'm on the 493, so, yeah.
If you were younger, or what would you say to your younger self?
What would I say to my younger self? Just know what a beauty, because sometimes I think there's a bit of bad in the best of us and there's a bit of good in the worst of us. So to just be your own best friend, that's what I would say. Be your own best friend. Because that's the thing, me thinking I was fat, black and ugly, that's what I really thought about myself. I grew up with a lot of things, like there was like domestic violence, and my dad, he was like a diagnosed schizophrenic. He's all right now, but he was a diagnosed schizophrenic and he used to beat my mum and she used to beat me. And I used to think at 4, like, is she beating me because he's beating her? And I made a lot of life decisions based on stuff that was going on. I was thinking, oh my God, I'm a victim of circumstance. And a lot of decisions I made, like my partners are white, basically. And sometimes it's like, I don't know if I did it, unconsciously, I just thought, because I used to get bullied at school as well, like I was saying, I went to school in Victoria, and I thought everything. When I look at pictures of myself as a kid, like I said, I thought I was fat, black, and ugly. I wasn't like, when I was drinking and stuff, I wasn't even drinking on the truth. It was just lies. I look at pictures of myself, and I wasn't ugly, I wasn't fat, and I wasn't even black. I was a dark shade of brown. It's like, oh, if you had the life I had, then you drink like me. And I don't know, I just never felt like a part of. I always felt like I was on the outside looking in, and everyone else had a rule book that I never had. So all this self-hatred and stuff, I mean, maybe if I went to a school around the corner where there was more people looking like me, but there weren't really many role models. There weren't really people like me. We weren't allowed to play outside. We were very sheltered, because my dad was like, oh, if anyone does anything to my kids, I'll murder them, basically. So yeah, and he, yeah, like I said, he's a lovely guy. He had his own set of issues though. Like, he was in and out of prison for it's more or less cars, not car crime. Like, he didn't go around stealing cars, but because he was violent, like when somebody cut him up, he'd get out and like, ooh. So we used to go and visit him inside, and to me, I think the thing is now, like, I can see the bigger picture. Like, I can see that his mum kind of gave him away when he was 9 to go and live with somebody else. She had 4 other sons, and they stayed with her. So I can see that he's got his own rejection and abandonment issues. So he's probably treated women a certain way because of that. My mum, she had me when she was really young. She was 17 when she had me. God, like, yeah, no matter. No, I had 3 kids by the time I was 21, but she was 17. When I look at I've got a 17-year-old daughter. I can't imagine her being a parent. But I've got a 17-year-old, a 27-year-old, a 28-year-old, a 29-year-old, and a nearly 12-year-old. So I was greedy, like I said, more than the Chinese year of the rabbit and a bread like one. But yeah, it's just a lot going on, really. So
how would you describe your upbringing? You said it was quite...
Well, it was like, I could tell they loved us, but they never like really said it. Like me now, I'm like really touchy-feely. Oh yeah, I love you, give them hugs and stuff like that. But it wasn't like that. My mum, she used to buy us stuff like to show us her affection, and she did want the best for us. That's why she sent us to those schools. Grew up going to CYM, Centre for Young Musicians, to play violin, piano, and all that kind of stuff. But as for it's like with age, I think. And when she had my younger brother and sister, because there was me and Natalie, and then there was Nathan and Ty. When she had us lot, it was like quite hard, get beaten for everything, like breaking a toy or stealing or whatever it was. But with the younger two siblings, she was a bit older, so she had a bit more time or patience or whatever. But yeah, that's the thing. Sometimes I feel like when you think about the way we got beaten back then, you think that be seen as child abuse today. I shouldn't even be talking to you, mother. But yeah, no, it's like you got to honour your mother and father. And really, they say that they did the best they could with the tools they had, really. So that's what I like about being in recovery, because in recovery, it's sort of shown me all these things and I can shine a light on it, look at it for what it really was, not blame anyone. Because they say, like, it's everyone's fault and no one's to blame. So I can't, because there's always something you can go back to, oh, that happened. Their parents did that to them and they did that to them. So it's just really about being open-minded, having compassion, being forgiving, and just being kind in thought, word, and deed, and just not blaming. Because it's not really helpful to anyone. You can't go back and change the past, but you can understand it through some work and inner work. So I've had to have counselling and all that stuff as well. Kind of need some more psychotherapy for a few years. But the thing is, it's so easy to pay for stuff that's bad for you. But when it's something like that's going to sort you out mentally, oh no, I don't want to pay £50 or £60 a week for that now, but you spend hundreds of pounds on illicit substances. So it's all about oblivion and not wanting to exist and stuff like that, and like wanting to disappear. I had food disorder. I had all kind of things. There was always something that now it's clothes, shoes, hat. How many bloody onesies and stuff do I need to? And that's what I'm saying. It's like you're trying to fix what's going on inside with external stuff, and it just doesn't work. It might work momentarily, like with the illicit substances, but at the end, you have to really just figure out what's going on inside, find those core beliefs, change them because they're not true. And then, it takes a lot of work, but I'm definitely in a much better place now than I was. Tried to do a little bit of comedy as well when I was going to these meetings. Russell, I hope you won't mind me saying Russell, but he was the one that got me into comedy. He heard me sharing in a meeting and he said, oh, Tash, you're funny. You should get the time out, do an open mic and start doing comedy. And then I did, he said, you can't judge yourself till you've done your first 100 gigs. And I remember I did a gig called An Evening with Just Another Addict on the Monday the 1st of December 2014, and like we were like support acts to Russell Brand, and it was my 6th my 6th gig in, and it was great. There were like light bulbs on the mirrors, and I was thinking, yeah, like this is like, it was my best gig ever, and stuff just went downhill from there. I mean, I did about 150 in total on the hamster wheel that is the comedy circuit.
150 shows.
Yeah, like it's
That's
just
lot.
like in pubs and stuff like that, going out
That's
there.
still a lot of shows, yeah.
Yeah, but it's like the laughter is payment if you get any, and I just feel like I wasn't getting. I just didn't think I was that funny, really. I mean, I've got some stuff on YouTube, but I just had to get a real job because I had like 5 kids to feed. So, and now I've got a grandson to add to that mix. So,
oh, congratulations.
yeah, I'm really old now. So, I'm female, black, and old. I've got a triple things going against me. But
can I ask? You mentioned self-hatred at school.
yeah.
And obviously alcoholism, going into like other addictions such as crack, and where were you when you were kind of at your worst? Do you feel like it was kind of a mixture of everything, all at once, or
when you say at your worst,
would you say that's 20 years ago? You were kind of
that
an
was
addict?
Say 20.
What would you say your a bad time that you remember?
Yeah, it was about 20 years ago, because that's the thing that got social services involved, and the kids being put on the at-risk register and me being put into treatment, because they were saying that even though I wasn't like stabbing cigarettes out of them or anything like that, I was there, but I wasn't like compos mentis. So they were like on the register for emotional abuse, even though I know, and it sounds really bad, because I remember I came across a report. We used to have these core conference meetings, and I came across a report, and everything that was on there, I was thinking like, this looks really bad on paper, like this isn't me, but that is me when I'm in my addiction, like, and I that's what I mean. I hate that, because I do feel like I've done damage, and not like I said, it's not about like berating myself or with myself, but to me, I do kind of, there's definitely been a negative impact on my behaviour when the kids were growing up. Sometimes I feel like if the kids didn't have to go through that, then they might be in a better place today. They might not as well. I know somebody who's like 20 years clean. His son is, his son's got arrested for a really bad crime, and he's never seen his dad use. So it swings and roundabouts, really.
It does, yeah.
So it's just putting things into perspective, and just, I say, pat yourself on the back, but pat yourself on the back for something you shouldn't have been doing anyway. So it is a bit jarring that it took me as long as it did to get clean. Or they say get well, because they say we're sick people trying to get well. We're not bad trying to be good, but sometimes it's like, I wish I didn't have to put my little ones through that, really. Yeah.
But with that being said, do you remember any like specific crazy stories that you might have seen, or because there's a lot of stuff going on in South London that we see all the time?
Yeah, well, I don't know. I know that I was drug tested twice at work for being too happy at 5 o'clock in the morning. And the thing is, I would have believed it was random. They said, oh yeah, it's random, but it was twice in 1 month. And I was thinking, yeah, it's because I'm black and I got dreads, that's why. But yeah, and some people have been there like years and never been tested. So, but yeah, I just take it with a pinch of salt, really, because I know that I'm a teetotaler now. The thing is, that's what I'm saying. If I was in Jamaica and somebody offered me a spliff and a drink, I was thinking, no, I just can't do that, because my reality is, and I never had a problem with weed. I like puff in the morning and puff at night. But with this stuff, it's total abstinence. So if I have weed, they say, a friend with weed is a friend indeed. No, if I had that, then a light switch would go off in my head thinking, it'd be a good idea to drink. And then I would drink, and then I would drive the bus drunk, and then I'll be killing people and ending up in jail. And that sounds like, that's a bit extreme, but that's what would actually happen. I mean, I've got 2 drink driving convictions and a road rage conviction. People wouldn't get on my bus if they realised that I had that. The reason I've got that is because there's a statute of limitations. So, not statute of limitations, there's a Rehabilitation of Offenders Act. So anything that happened over 5 years before you got the job, then it's spent, basically. So those convictions were spent. But I've got an ABH conviction. Like, some woman tried to say that I tried to steal her camera but I didn't. Basically, she was taking pictures of me while I was driving. I'm thinking, why are you taking pictures of me when I was driving? I mean, I was a bit paranoid. I had a 5-seater car, but I had about 10 people in there and a dog. So that's why I got paranoid. So I was like, went out, I was like, why are you taking pictures? And she's like, so I'm thinking, right, I'm going to stop this woman taking pictures. I'm actually going to take your key out your car. So I went to take the key out, and then she started winding my hand up in the window. So I'm like trying to come out. There's a bystander saying, oh, I was doing that. But no, I was trying to get out. So then I like drove off, and then I remember I was doing my friend's hair, 'cause I do a little bit of hair as well, and then the police knocked, and oh God, they came in like plain clothes as well. So yeah, I knew I was in trouble. And I got a good solicitor because they managed to get me, I mean, I wasn't guilty. I'm thinking I'm not pleading guilty to something I didn't do. So they put me, I think it was a suspended sentence for 2 years. I had a drug rehabilitation requirement. I had to be on probation. I had an ankle bracelet for 3 months, and I had all this stuff. It's like, and I think because I was pregnant, luckily, if I wasn't pregnant, I think I'd go to jail. I thank my youngest son, actually. He spared me jail. But yeah, and it was terrible because I was, like I said, I was struggling with addiction at the time. So I remember when going to probation, I'm thinking, right, if I use this day, I wonder if it'll come out of my piss the next time I go. And it's a hard work being an addict in active addiction. It's very hard work. It's so much better this way. It's like being on benefits. When you don't have benefits, that you don't have to answer to anyone. But if you're getting something for someone, you've always got to answer to someone. Thank God I don't have to pay bedroom tax or answer to probation or yeah, there's just so much stuff that if I knew it was going to be like this, I would have done this sooner. I really would have. Now, when I get my 25 years long service awards, I'm going to be an old bag of 66. I didn't start work until I was 41. So, but better later than never, I suppose. Better later than never.
So they convicted you of ABH? Is that actual bodily harm?
Yeah, and I didn't even do that. I didn't do it, man. I didn't do it. And but she was white and I was black, so there you go.
Do you feel like
Enough
it was
said.
quite... It was
Jacqueline Kelly, I want to find out where you live. No, I won't say too much because... But yeah, that was jarring, man. That was so... And I couldn't get a job for ages. I tried to be a nurse. Then they said that because of that, that I'd have to do some extra thing for me to get into medical school. So I just thought, oh, forget that. And then anything I put in for, because of this conviction, I couldn't do it because you had to disclose. And then once they saw this, it sounds like it was some long rap sheet, but it was only 3 things. But still made me look like the criminal that I wasn't. I wasn't a criminal. Drink driving, gosh.
Is that drink driving twice in the ABH?
Yeah, because I remember I got a drink driving in 97 and I was banned for a year. And I got a £150 fine. I think I was reversing into a main road with no lights on, and I think I had about 1,000 people in the car again still. So I'm too friendly. Tash Uber in the house. Yeah. And and then I remember it was in Stoke Newington. They were saying, oh, yeah, you got to come get breathalyzers. I said, no, I don't want to be the next victim of dying in police custody. So I had to go to court, I think, in Highbury the following day, and they banned me. And they said, they said years ban, and I said, okay, don't worry, I will never drink again. I remember a year after getting the ban had finished, you had to apply for your license, and you only got it for a year. And I said, oh, I'll never drink again. And after 8 months, I got banned again for the same thing. And they said because it was within a year, you mandatory ban of 3 months, and I got 3 years. Sorry, so I got 3-year ban. £150 fine, £350 fine that time. So I wasn't driving for like 6 years, and my dad was saying, oh, Tash, you're going to drink, or you're going to drive? And I said, oh, all right, I'll drink then. So he drove away my orange Beetle, turned it into a tiger by drawing black lines all over it. And I missed driving, man, because when I started driving again, I hadn't been on the road for about 6 years. So in the first month, I was getting like £500 worth of fines, it was crazy when I started driving again.
Is that kind of like cameras and bus lanes?
Yeah, there was the road had changed. So yeah, £500. Luckily, I had a credit card to pay it off with, but yeah, it's now because I'm driving professionally. To me, I have to stay sober now. It's like my kids are like, oh yeah, you can stay sober for your job. You couldn't stay sober for us. They haven't said that. That's what I imagine they're thinking. But it's good because my grandson's never going to see me drink. My youngest son, even though he's cleaner than me because he's like nearly 12 and I'm just 10, I had a little blip when he was 11 months, and then it took me, and that's the thing, because I've been in and out of recovery. So I had like 5 months, then I had 10 months, then I had nearly 3 years. And then because they say you can have an off day, but you can't have a day off. So that one drink in 3 years, I couldn't get back. For about 4 years, I was trying to stop and I couldn't stop again. So it's a horrible illness, but at least I've got this this recovery thing that I can combat it with. So just don't do it, because it robs you of your life, really. It just robs you of the day. I tell you, if I did it now, I probably wouldn't even get Get back. I'd rather just throw myself in front of a train. It'd be better committing suicide, really. And I don't even want to say that lightheartedly. In fact, I'll probably jump into the Thames because people jump in front of my train on the way to work. I'm like, that's very selfish. You need to like jump into the Thames. Unless you're a good cold water swimmer, then it's not going to work. So, yeah.
Okay, so on my mind, I've got to ask, why were there 10 people in the car?
Because I think I had about 3 of my 5 kids, a friend, his friend's son, a dog, a sister, and my partner. There was about 10 of us in the car. Wow. So I just got paranoid.
Is this in the orange?
No, this wasn't in the orange. Yeah, this wasn't the orange people. No, it was in a Ford Escort.
Oh, right, so that's a van, isn't it?
Yeah, no, it was a Ford Escort.
I know, yeah.
Yeah, the old Ford Escort,
yeah.
which I ended up crashing, and I didn't realise I'd crashed it into a bus, of all things. Oh, no. This was years ago. I remember I was on my way, and this was when I was, see what I mean? Drink driving, it's not good, man. Because I was on the way to pick up my partner and my 2 youngest kids from Kent, from Tooting. So I'm driving, and I must have fallen asleep. I must have, because all I remember is I woke up and I saw this bus coming towards me. So I've swerved out the way, driven off, and then this man comes to me saying, oh, you know you're not supposed to drive up from the scene. And I thought, fuck you, bitch. And then I drove home. I cronked out in Streatham. When I got out of the car, there was only 3 wheels on the... So I was driving around with 3 wheels. One of the tyres must have come off. And I remember they sent the police round, and I said, oh, my dad was driving. So they sent them round to Hackney, but my dad was actually living in Gambia at the time. Oh, God. My life has been a nightmare. It really has been terrible. God, it's just been full of, like, ups, downs, all arounds. In the end, they... luckily, nothing happened because I'd sort of, like, put them off the scent. But the thing is, when I was in recovery, you've got to like own up to all these things. So I ended up writing off to them saying, oh yes, back in this day, like I was, and they said that I should have reported it within 24 hours. And because I didn't, I got away with it, yay!
Who have you got to write it to? Is it the police? Or?
Yeah, well, I decided to call the police, but they say like, be honest, but don't be too honest. Like you don't want to end up in jail. You got 5 kids to feed. Yeah. So, but luckily nothing came of that. But yeah, it's just, it's life, man. It can be tough. Like I said, it seems like everyone else has a rule book or has a guide of how to do life. And I just feel like I grew up and I just didn't know how to live. And I just made all these silly mistakes and decisions and choices. I think everything in my life is from a thought or a choice that I've made. So everything in my life that's happened now. And sometimes I feel like these kids that I've got, and don't get me wrong, I love them. I wouldn't be without them, but I could have done without them. It's like sometimes I think I woke up out of a drunken stupor, like with these 5 kids looking at me like, where did they come from? I don't even remember having you. So, and I think I'd be rich. If I didn't have kids, I'd be rich, man. I need to grow some extra nipples so that they can suck me dry even harder. Like, it's so expensive. It's like, I'm paying for drama school for my youngest kid, and that's like $1,500 a year minimum, and like, it's a lot, man.
So I mean, with your upbringing and your parents and everything, how does that relate with you bringing up your children?
Well, with me, I thought I'm never going to beat them because my dad never beat us. He beat my mum, but she used to beat us. So I just thought I'm going to grow up and I'm never going to beat my kids. But by not doing that, like I said, I might not have beat them, but I've affected them in other ways. Like when I was in my cups, when I was drinking way too much, and so much things nearly happened. I remember my son, he was trying to wake me up once, and my oldest boy, and he nearly poured hot water on me trying to wake me up. My mum walked in like just at the right time. I've been found in dubious positions as well. I remember like they used to send me videos of the states I used to get in, which I used to hate seeing. And
is that family members? Or?
Yeah. And there was one video where, I don't even know if I should say this. I found some drugs at home and I took this stuff, and I remember I found it in my son's room basically. So basically I was thinking, I'm going to tidy up my son's room like the great parent I am. Now, he was 18 at the time, so I had no business being in his room. But anyway, this stuff that I found in there, I ended up taking. And I remember there was this video of me with my like knickers hanging around my ankles, snot coming out my nose, me bending forward. And the next day, the door knocked. banging the door, like, and I was thinking, who's that knocking the door like it's the police? And it basically was the police. Like, they'd come to search my son's room because he'd been arrested for a possession with intent to supply. And I was thinking, oh, thank God, at least I snorted all the drugs the day before. They'll never find anything here. And that was after I had 11 months clean at that time, and I found these drugs and I took them. So I threw away all my clean time, because once you use again, you have to count from the beginning. Yeah. And then I only relapsed for one day, and they say, if you're an addict, you can't stop using. So I only relapsed for one day, and I didn't relapse for about 3 months. I'm thinking, well, I'm not an addict because I only used once, like one day. And then so I went to Amsterdam to celebrate, and I ended up frigging, just smashing the granny out of everything, basically. And I just couldn't stop using at all. And that's why I had to go into treatment that time. I had to be taken out of society because the kids were on the at-risk register again. They were going to put them on a special guardianship order where my mum would have them until they were 16, which might not have been a bad idea now because they're sucking me dry at the moment, but it doesn't matter. Everything is as it should be. And luckily I had my mum and their dads to help, because otherwise I would have lost them. I know people that have actually lost their kids and they haven't got them back. So I'm really lucky. Like I said, God was smiling on me. A lot of stuff happened for me to kick me into gear, but I just feel like I had a lot of chances. Even social services, like, they don't want to take the kids from you. They want you to keep your kids, but luckily I had the help. Otherwise, they would have been gone. They were off the at-risk register once I was in treatment because I wasn't seen as a harm to them. I remember there was a time when I wasn't even allowed to be left alone, unsupervised with my two youngest kids. And when I think about things as they are today and how they were back then, I'm thinking, wow, is this the same person? Is it? It's like a Jekyll and Hyde. I'm all right now, but you put a drink or a drug in me, I'm like different. I'm really different. And then once I start, it's like you release the addiction all over again, so you can't even stop once you've started. So I'm so grateful to be clean, sober and serene. Just for today, you've always got to throw that little get out clause in there, because there's been people that have been 30 years, they start drinking again and then they can't even get back. Some of them die. I had a friend who, she was 4 years sober and she drank in the August and she was dead in the June, drank in the June and was dead in the August. And that was at 4 years sober. And it's like, what is that insidious insanity that makes you think a drink is a good idea? And it's because it's an illness that tells you hasn't got it. It tells you that it will be different next time, or it wasn't that bad. And it was terrible. There's so much carnage, but it will still, you believe that lie, it will be different next time. And it's never any different. It's always the same. It's worse, actually. So I'm just glad I've learned not to listen to that voice, because it wants to keep me lonely and kill me slowly. And I'm just not giving it another second of my life. I'm really not. I'm done. It was my best friend and it turned on me.
So your friend had a drink in June and was dead in
the August, yeah, and that was 13 years ago.
Was that from overdose from drinking?
Yeah,
or?
yeah.
Oh, wow.
She had a build-up of ketones or acetones in her body. And they think that alcohol, I think alcohol is the worst drug out of all of them, because it affects every area of your body. There's people who've got wet brain, they've got, you get so much, I don't even know why alcohol is legal. Sometimes I just feel like, especially because I'm not allowed to drink it, that's why I won't get married. I'm thinking, I'm not paying for other people to watch people drink the drink that I can't drink. Plus, it costs too much to get divorced. So we've been together 23 years, so there's no point. No point at all. Yeah.
What's the secret to 23 years?
He works nights, I work days. So, so we're like ships sailing through the night, basically. So.
All right, fair enough, yeah.
My best friend, my heterosexual life mate. Don't get me wrong, we do each other's heads in sometimes. But I've been watching the Murder Channel as well, seeing how some women get rid of their partners, like poison, get a hitman. I wouldn't do that. I'm not going to mess with my money. Messing with my money is like messing with my emotions. So.
The best way is a frozen chicken. Because apparently you hit him over the head with a frozen chicken.
Oh,
and then you cook it after.
We did. My daughter is an artist. She's 17. I'll have to show you the pictures, right? Yeah. She did a picture of me with I don't think it was frozen, but the chicken was spread eagled. It was based on some artists. Two of the artists were called Sarah, but it was about the human form. And I don't know if it was necessarily chickens, because she took a picture of my other kids with one with a dead sheep, like a sheep's head, and some other pictures as well, but we actually ate the chicken afterwards, so it's just weird that you actually said that. I'll have to show you the pictures. They're brilliant. She really captures me, really got me in a good, it was her final art piece. She's in the lower six, so she's going to be going into the upper six. So I can't wait till they all grow up and leave home, actually, including the 11-year-old. God, I need some respite. I've been a parent for too long. I'm jaded.
Is that the daughter that's You say your son's an actor?
Yeah.
And your daughter's an artist?
Yes, I've got a daughter
right.
she wants to be a tattoo artist.
Okay,
so
cool.
After she does a second year of A-level, she might take a year out to do an apprenticeship. She's really good at. If she can transfer what she does with paint onto skin, she'll definitely be going places.
That's brilliant.
Yeah.
So all your kids quite creative, would you say?
Yeah, I've got a singer daughter, Levi. She writes and sings. She just needs an agent. Any agents out there, come and find me. My son, he's not too well at the moment, but he was really good at hockey, like ice hockey, roller hockey. When he gets well again, hopefully he can get back into all that stuff. My third, Troy, she's a social worker, and I do believe that's because she grew up with them, basically, has them in her life so many times. She's doing that. I'm really proud of her. She went to uni, got a degree in that. And then I've got the artist and the actor. The actor was in a Christina Aguilera's re-release of Beautiful, I think the 2022 version. So he's like the vending machine kid who goes up to the vending machine full of potions and pills and then decides he doesn't want it, so walks away. So yeah, we need more of those jobs, man. Oh, need to exploit you some more. It's not even exploiting him. I'm paying loads for him. I'm investing in him, and he's such a brat sometimes. I just feel like kicking his head off his neck. Like, don't be rude to me. Don't get rude or I'll slap your jaw. Anyway, quoting some JME there. But anyway.
So you have quite a good relationship with your kids.
Yeah, I'm lucky, man. I'm really lucky because they should hate me. But I think because I sort of like practice forgiveness with my parents, I think they kind of forgive me. I think they do anyway. Sometimes I feel like I haven't got a relationship that I would like to have, but it is what it is. It's just about accepting the things that I can't change and changing the things that I can. So like I said, I am there now, and I've just got back from Jamaica, saw Junior Reid. Yeah, that was wicked, man. My daughter and my son-in-law and their baby. So I went out there. I sort of like gate crashed. I invited myself along because his dad hasn't met the baby and got to meet Junior Reid. They did some festival, One Love, One Blood festival in Ocho Rios, which was amazing. There was Sizzler there, Wayne, Bushman, Stephen Marley, Julian Marley, loads of people there. Yeah, it was wicked, man. And then my son-in-law's brother had a gender reveal the following days. I got to meet Junior Reid again, like the groupie I am. It was amazing. And then Junior Reid's birthday was on the 6th of June, so he was 60. And I think that morning they were going, like, my daughter just said, oh, like, we're just popping out, look after the baby for us. So I was like, yeah, I'm going to meet Junior Reid later. I'm going to pull out my hair, like. And then they didn't come back for ages. Then I found out they went to the beach in Ocho Rios. I'm thinking, God, you could have brought me to the beach. Like, I would have looked after the baby the other side of the beach. You couldn't walk me along, but it's all right, I forgive you. That's why it rained when you got there, karma. But anyway, and then the baby was sleeping by the time they got back. So she was like, oh, like, we can't wake the baby. Like, I'm thinking, you can't wake the baby. It's going to be the last time he's going to meet his grandfather. You can wake him, but they didn't wake him. So I basically pulled my hair out to watch my grandson watch the back of his eyelids. Like, I just can't believe it still. Like, my blood is boiling still. Like, I've missed out on my last chance to meet Junior Reid, get a dub plate made, maybe get his phone number so we could stay in touch. But it's fine. It's like, I'll get over it. In 20 years' time, I'll be moaning to my grandson, like, you know what your parents did, yeah? They maybe look after you while they went and had drinks with. Like, she's saying, oh, it's not a party, it's just a drink up for him and his kids. I'm like, you're not his kid. You're going out with his kid. You're not his kid. Let me go with my son-in-law and you look after the baby. You don't even like his music. But it's fine, I'll get over it. And the thing is, it was raining heavily that night as well. I started thinking all kinds of things. I've got a mad mind because it was raining and it was like there were bongo drums playing outside. I started thinking, oh my God, they died in a car crash on the way up the hill. I'm left here with my grandson. Like, we're supposed to be leaving tomorrow. Like, what am I going to do? I'm going to be left growing up with my grandson. Sort yourself out, Natasha. You belong in Springfield Insane Asylum. Your thoughts. If people knew what was going on in my head, they would put me in an insane asylum. I have been in an insane asylum twice, actually. Twice, yeah. Once when I was pregnant as well. I thought I was like Jack Nicholson in One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. The food was good, but I shouldn't have been in there. I really shouldn't have.
What was the food? Cornish
pasties. I love pastries.
What kind of led you there?
The same thing. It was still this addiction stuff. They didn't know if I had bipolar or if I was self-medicating. So yeah, it's just a cycle, and they've got this like cycle of I can't remember what it's called. the cycle of something, but you've got the pre-contemplation, then you've got the contemplation, and then you've got the maintenance. So like I'm in the maintenance at the moment, and if you come off the maintenance by relapsing again, then you go back to the pre-contemplation. So I think it's called the cycle of addiction or something like that. So at the moment, because they're seeing me as managing, so I'm in the maintenance, and that's where I want to stay. I want to stay maintaining this good life that I've got, because I wouldn't be driving around in the car. I mean, I want a range. I haven't got one, but I would like one. I can't afford one. But yeah, I wouldn't have all the stuff I had now if it wasn't for me fully subscribing to this recovery program, which I know I keep going back to, but it's definitely saved my life and given me a new one.
Can I ask what it's like inside an asylum?
It's all right. It's just full of docile people getting on your nerves. I swear I felt like the most sane person in there. I really thought like, what the hell? Like, I just woke up in there. I just thought I must have been doing some crazy stuff for them to think this was where I needed to be. I mean, I was only in there for a little while, but yeah, just that, and even you had to like see psychiatrists and do drink diaries, like, oh, how much are you drinking? I say, I'm only drinking 1 glass, but they didn't realise how big that glass was. But yeah, that's the thing. It has been a journey. Yeah, maybe I should write some memoirs one day. I don't know. I've got to, like I say, I go around and I do chairs at meetings. Like people keep, when they hear the story and then you go, so you should come. You should come to a meeting one day and hear me share my experience, strength and hope.
That'd be interesting.
Yeah, I've got to do one in Slough on Sunday, and I just feel like I've got to do Brixton meeting you go into the prison and you do the meetings on 2 different wings. They've got they've got a recovery wing and they've got some other wing. So I've got to do 2 chairs on Saturday, and then on Sunday I've got to drive to Slough. And that's far. That's near Legoland. And usually they do like put a pot around like to help pay for the venue. And I'm thinking that pot is going to help pay for my petrol to get me up here. But no, it's all about doing service. You've got to give it away to keep it, really. You have to give it away to keep it.
So is that organised by like a recovery?
Yeah. It's weird because it's not organised. Like we're all like on the same level. There's no one that's higher or lower than anyone else. So I don't know how we managed to organise this stuff when there's no hierarchy or anything. It's an amazing thing, and it just turned 88 the other day as well. Like the 10th of June. Oh, wow. It's been 88 years since we've been helping people. A lot of people don't get it, but it's either jails, institutions, death, or life in recovery. And I'm going to keep living my life in recovery, living my best life. Going to Jamaica again next year, might be going to Amsterdam again, but the same thing's not going to happen that happened last time. So, yeah. Okay.
So to summarise that, you go into jails or prisons, and then you kind of talk to addicts.
Yeah. So you go in, share your experience, strength and hope. Because some people are in there, they don't even know what they did. They were in blackout and they've murdered somebody in blackout. So it's just going in there, telling them that there is a way out, just following a few simple suggestions, and your life can change. But it's all about change, and not necessarily in that order. Definitely have to change, because if you always do what you always did, you always get what you always got. So you've got to do something different and keep doing that, because otherwise it's like you can't. If you're not growing, you're decaying, and you can't rest on your laurels, because otherwise you'll just end up working backwards and then end up with a drink and a crack pipe in your hand, thinking, how did I end up here? So you've got to keep moving forward.
And the prisons you've been in, you said it was kind of like Holloway and...
Yeah, I used to take them in myself in Holloway, so I used to bring other women in, or men, didn't really matter. You could bring people to share their experience, strength and hope. And at Holloway, but then they closed that down. I think they're turning that into housing now. And also, I used to do carrot work at Brixton. That's counselling, assessment, referral, advice and through care. So that's people that are in prison who used to work for an organisation called RAPT, which is Rehabilitation for Addicted Prisoners Trust, and they used to have us carrots like signposted them in what they wanted to do, whether it was housing or going into treatment for their addiction, whatever it was, just signposting prisoners that were getting released into what they were going to be doing when they were outside. So that was good as well, doing that at Wandsworth Prison. But now I just go in with the key holders to share my story and hope that it offers some hope to somebody to say that you can change your life. You definitely can, because I didn't think I could. And I just feel like, wow, you're a decade of delight. So, yeah, it can happen for anyone, but it's not for those who want it or need it. It's for those that do it. And you have to put some action in. Otherwise, it's just not going to work.
So how many days did you say?
3,672.
Okay.
Not that I can. I've got an app that does that for me now. So,
and what was the turnaround point? Like, what made you just say,
I just felt
no
like
more?
I was going to lose everything. Like I said, you can have alcohol in one hand or the rest of your life in the other, but you can't have both. And I just chose my family over this liquid, this magical elixir that made me, that's what I mean, it gave me that courage. It made me feel all these things that it's like I was searching for something that I already had inside. And but I had to learn the hard way. But it was the fact that I was going to lose my kids, I was going to lose my relationship, I was going to lose everything. And I just thought, do you know what? They say alcohol is a great solvent. It removes stains of tables, it removes the table, it removes everything, and it will move your life if you allow it. But I've just thought, I'm just not allowing it. I just can't drink anymore. If I'm drinking this from somebody else's cup, I just can't touch a drop of liquor. I've got to watch what I eat, what I drink, make sure there's no alcohol in there, because that will trigger that phenomenon of craving, and then I won't be able to stop again. So I've just got to be very vigilant to make sure that,
So it's more of a mental thing.
Yeah.
Because obviously it's legal and they sell it everywhere.
Yeah, it's everywhere.
Shops
Yeah, and I don't smoke anymore. I stopped smoking at the same time because like the ash used to it's like paraphernalia for the pipe, and I just thought I've just got to let go of it all.
So it's like triggers.
Yeah. No nicotine, no caffeine, no nothing. Even those bloody vapes, I just think it's like smoking on a crack pipe. I just don't do any of it. Any of it. Teetotaler. Might have a Red Bull here and there, but some bull sperm, but yeah.
With that being said, what are your like vices or your outlets to kind of like...
Driving the bus, it really is. Like I said, the SGAs are like drug dealers. I say, what do you got for me? What do you got for me? You got any G1? G1, yeah. So yeah, I love driving the G1. I love spending money on apparel. Oh my God, I'm in so much debt right now.
Was it all clothes? Or?
Yeah, I love clothes, man. I've got so many pairs of Ugg boots, Dr. Martens, trainers, bucket hats. I love me a bucket hat. T-shirts, onesies. I've got over 100 onesies. I've got so many. And they're not cheap onesies either. They're one-piece onesies, which are designer. Some of them cost like nearly 300 quid a time. So I need to stop that. Go to Onesies Anonymous. Yeah, because it's too much. Like I was saying, it's like you're trying to seek this. I need to go within, or I'm going to go without money because I'll spend it all. So, yeah.
Do you feel like your clothes kind of reflect how your mind is?
Yeah, it does, because I'm usually wearing bright clothes. I used to wear black all the time. People used to think I was a goth, but now I just really like rainbows and... My kids think I'm gay. They think I'm trans woman and that my partner's trans man. No, they think I'm trans man and he's trans female. So I just feel like I'm trans rich, but I'm really a broke ass bitch because I just can't stop fucking spending money. I'm waking up at 2 o'clock in the morning on eBay, like buying £400 Burberry coats. I don't need it. It's summer now. Oh God, help me. Pray for the willingness not to spend anymore. Because I want to do things, I want to create memories, I want to take the kids on holiday, I want to do stuff like buy clothes, got a walk-in closet, and you wear the same old clothes as well. I've got so many trainers, I live in these one dead pair of trainers. Well, not dead, but yeah, just, yeah. But the thing is, once you're aware, then you can do something about it. It's like when you're not aware, you're just blindly doing the same thing. But I'm lucky because I've got an awareness of certain things. So even when other people like piss me off, I just think, right, love and tolerance is our code. Pause when agitated. Does it have to be said? Does it have to be said by me? Does it have to be said now? And if the answer is yes, still don't say it. Practice restraint of tongue and pen. Don't say anything that's going to cause more harm or get you in trouble or something that you'll regret later. Just stop. Pause. So, yeah, I've learned a lot. And I've still got a bit of road rage. Like, people piss me off. People. Especially those that do 20 in a 30-mile-an-hour zone. Like, go out the way. Or if there's 20, they're doing 13. Like, this is 20 miles an hour, not 13. Why are you doing 20 in a 10? You get these people walking in the pavement. Why are you walking on the road? Like, why are you walking in the road? Like, you don't see me driving on the pavement. Move. So I've still got a bit of that I need to work on. Patience. I need to be patient. But
where does that mental kind of strength and all these phrases that you have, where does that most of that come from? Is that from your upbringing or from the AA meetings?
Yeah, from the meetings you hear a lot of useful cliches. Like, you hear a lot of cliches, and sometimes I just practice that in my daily affairs. It really is about being of service to others, finding myself, forgiving myself, and forgetting myself in service to others. So I'm Tash Uber now, so it's like I'm always a designated driver wherever we go. Like nobody knows the car gets thirsty. Like nobody knows to like give the car a drink. But it's good. I'm just happy to do it because for so long I was robbing my family of their peace of mind. My mum was thinking that I was going to be dead before 30. She used to think I was a bag of bones. I thought, well, I was a bag of bones. I thought I looked good, heroin chic. But no, I did cause them a lot of worry at one point. And I think she used to just keep praying. And now she's so proud of me. And that's all I wanted really for my parents to be proud of me. And they are today. They are. It took a bit, like I said, I feel like I'm a bit older. I was only 40 like 8 years ago. But like I'm nearly half a century. And I just feel like, where's the time gone? It goes so quickly. My big son is going to be 30 next March. And I just feel like I want to just keep being an example to my children. And life is what you make it, really. And it was a living hell for a long time. But now I know better, I do better, and try not to cause any more harm, really.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. And sometimes with the comedy as well, I do feel like I do want to get back into it, but I've got writer's block at the moment. Like I sometimes do like gigs down at Divine in Kentish Town, or the Comedy Virgins, popping my comedy cherry in Stockwell, one of the little cup, doing that. So I'd like to get back into that, but it's just time as well, because now I'm doing like 70-hour weeks and working 13 days straight, having a day off, doing another 13. So it's just finding time to squeeze everything in. Sometimes I feel like there's not enough hours in a day to do everything I want. But for me, and that's another thing as well, I think I keep busy to stop me to stop me thinking, because sometimes I think too much and then I'll get sad and depressed. So I just keep busy like 100 miles an hour. But I have got to learn to sit with myself. So sometimes I like pray, meditate, and try and be mindful of what I'm doing and saying. But yeah.
What made you kind of stop comedy? Or when did you stop as well?
Basically, I did come back in March, because I went to the Comedy Store with my sister, one of my sisters, and there were 4 acts. One of them was some Asian guy called Ramesh Nathan, whatever his name is. But he was really funny. Like the 3 guys were really funny, and there was this woman, and she literally died on stage. Not died literally, but I mean, she just wasn't funny. And I thought, I know that I could go up there and make people laugh. So I got back into it. And like I said, I went there and I won the Comedy Cup, and then all the cup winners had to go at the end of the month to do a show, and I didn't win the cup, and I'm thinking, comedy, man. That's the thing, it's like, if things aren't happening when I want them to happen, then I just feel like, just forget this. So, but really, it takes time. For me, I'm thinking it's too late. By the time I get any fame or be the next Chris Rock or Marlon Wayans, I'm going to be like 70. Like, how am I going to enjoy the fruits of my labour then? I feel like my personality doesn't suit my lifestyle. I need to be living in a mansion with a pool, with a range, evoke, black. But maybe I should stop saying shoulda, woulda, because shoulda, woulda, coulda, no good. Or I need to just go with the flow of the universe. And if it happens, it happens. And if it doesn't, then it doesn't matter. Just do it because I enjoy it, not with some end goal of being a millionaire, which I really want to be. But I've just got to stop. I put so much pressure on myself, sometimes I'm so rigid, and I've just got to bend with the wind, otherwise I'm going to snap, really. Yeah.
I mean, what I've realised is, obviously I'm not as experienced in life as you are.
How old are you?
I'm 30.
94 or 93?
93. Just turned 30 in May last month.
Okay, happy birthday.
But a lot of people reach their peak later on in life.
Yeah.
Yeah. Even Samuel L. Jackson didn't do a movie until...
Yeah, he's great, man. He's one of my favourite actors.
Yeah.
Like him.
Coming to
Ezekiel
America.
25:17. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that was his first one, yeah.
Yeah, I should have... was it Jungle Fever? No, not Jungle Fever. Yeah, you're right. With the... McDowell's.
That's it, yeah, McDowell's, the fake McDonald's.
Yeah, you're right, actually. I shouldn't limit myself. Sometimes I think I just, need to have higher expectations, rather. Don't underestimate my capabilities. Yeah.
Yeah, you can't kill your optimism.
Yeah. So.
And then you got Oprah.
She's a billionaire. Give me some of that money now. She gives people cars. Yeah. Give me a range. But yeah. It's not all about the material though. That's the thing as well. It's not. Sometimes I might make it about that, but it's not. For me, it's about the connections I've got with my nearest and dearest. I'm lucky that they're still in my life, that they're still talking to me, that they've given me a chance, and I'm glad that I'm not letting them down anymore. I Okay, yeah, I might get a bit angry sometimes. Anger is one letter away from danger. I can't afford it. Can't afford to be angry, man. But it's a human emotion. And sometimes I feel like I'm a bit like road ragey too much. And like sometimes the way I carry on, people are walking around on eggshells. And I just feel like I don't want to be that guy. I don't want to keep having road rage and even getting in the bus sometimes. I think, careful, like you love driving. Like you don't try and calm down, just practice patience and tolerance. Because you're in a hurry going nowhere, you're just in a hurry to the next light, the next red light. So I'm still changing, I'm still learning, I'm still growing, and I'm just human really. But sometimes I'm like trying to be perfection, like I'm trying to reach perfection and it's just unattainable. So yeah, so stop giving myself a hard time.
Yeah, no, fair enough. I did actually watch one of your comedies.
Oh God, which one? You should have told me. I would have given you links to the 2 best ones.
All right. It was
Which one was it?
It was on YouTube. It looked like almost like a pub scenario, but I'm not too sure.
What was I talking about? Was I talking about the buses or was I talking about my life?
School. The names they called you at school.
Oh yeah. That was one of the better ones.
And also...
did everyone watch it or just you?
Me and Oda.
What did you think, seriously? Was it all right?
I thought it was good, yeah. I did hear a lot about, kind of, you know, like, because I'm black.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, it's because I'm black, that's why, yeah.
Is that... I mean, how do you feel?
That's how I felt, though, at school. I felt a lot of the stuff that was happening was because I was black. I went to school with white kids. They didn't get beaten. I was getting beaten, so I thought it was a black thing.
So you feel like you had it tough at school and then you went home and had it tough as well?
Yeah, because I was getting called names at school and I don't know, it's like you can't help being black. Yeah. I used to blame my parents. I thought, they're black, that's why I'm black. I'm going through this shit. Why can't I be born Prince William, living in bloody Canada with... No, that's Harry. Why can't I be born Prince Harry with ginger hair and a ginger minge? But anyway, I don't know, I just feel like...
ginger minge?
White... Yeah, I spoke about that in that video as well, like, because I didn't want to throw away the hair dye. So I'm just very cheap sometimes. It's like, you'll spend £400 on a Burberry jacket, but you don't want to throw away hair dye, so you dye your fanny hairs, okay. Sorry. Should have said that, sorry.
Are you ginger?
No, I was. I dyed it ginger because I didn't want to waste the dye.
Oh, right.
But it's grown out now, that was years ago.
That's interesting.
Blondes had more fun. I know, I'm just cheap.
There was a bit about X Factor. Did you go in X Factor?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, me and Levi.
Oh,
so
right.
Levi was saying, because we were lining up for so long, she said, oh, why don't you audition as well? Wow. And I thought, okay. And I felt a bit bad because she didn't make it and I did. And I was thinking she could sing. That's what I was saying. It should be called X Fucked Up because only fucked up people get through. And I actually did get through. It's like I got the yellow ticket and then I got the red ticket and then they said, come back and meet Simon Cowell. And like, oh no, me, I still wait for this car. So it's annoying because I didn't get, that could have been my stardom. I just want to be famous, that's all. I'm a fame whore. The most famous I've got is being in a bus. And there's my pictures up in the bus saying, come and join us. I want to be on the outside of the bus, not the inside. I want to get wrapped around it.
What was your audition?
It was Living on a Prayer. What did you do? By John Bon Jovi.
Oh, you sang?
Yeah,
right. Okay,
I was singing, man. I was singing. So.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and I see shit people on there as well. I'm thinking, how did you get through? I can actually sing ballads. That's all I can sing. So yeah, didn't make it. Obviously, and I think that as well. I feel like God hasn't made me a millionaire yet because of my past, and I'd be dead already. So that's another reason as well. I feel like, yeah, there's reasons for everything.
Yeah. If you were going to be famous, what would you think it would be for?
Comedy.
Comedy. Okay,
yeah,
that's
definitely comedy.
Were you doing comedy at the time though? That you auditioned?
No, I don't think I was doing
it.
Right.
No,
I only did that I was doing it from 2014, went to the Edinburgh Festival, bus paid for me to stay in some accommodation while I was there, which was great. But after that, I had to get a job, a real job that paid.
Yeah, no, fair enough. I think you're doing quite a lot of promo for the bus driving and vacancies.
So do you want to be a bus driver? We're looking for people. If you've got a license, you've got to have a pink card and they'll help you get the bus driving DCAT.
Okay. I don't think personally I would do it just because I started a new job.
Okay.
But I think it is a good thing for young people. Yeah. I'll keep you as a contact, yeah, definitely.
Yes, please.
Definitely.
Any burning desires? Because I know the time's running out and I can talk for England.
It's all right. It's a general conversation. We can edit here and there. And
Please do. I think I've said too much already.
What do you like doing in your spare time?
Driving a bus.
You can't do that all day.
I do. I know. I'm one of those sad people. I do like driving a G1. An empty bus is a happy bus. I do like going on holiday. I do. So I've already been to Gambia and Jamaica this year.
Oh, wow. What was Gambia like?
Gambia was nice. It reminds me of Jamaica. It's like a little Jamaica. So we was in a hotel and I just sunbathed all day and no one noticed my tan either. No one noticed until I started peeling. I said, look, I've got red undertones. You can see my eyeballs and my teeth now. So I like going abroad.
Okay,
I love being up in the sky. But I won't pay for an aisle seat or a window seat, so I'm like squashed in the middle of two people. I was like doing acrobatics to get to the toilet. The woman's there, I'm like jumping over her. Someone said, oh, I've never seen anyone get out of the seat like that. But yeah, I didn't want to disturb her. She was like plugged in and asleep. But yeah, I love it. It was a bit of turbulence at the beginning, so I was thinking, oh my God, we're going to die. I'm never going to be able to wear my onesies and thousands of shoes again. But yeah.
How long in Gambia?
I was only there for 11 nights. I was there for.
Right,
Took the two youngest to Gambia. I was in Jamaica for 7 nights. Well, it was 11 nights originally, but we had to pay to have it reduced to 7 because my daughter had to go back to work because she wasn't allowed to have so much time off because she was a social worker and couldn't have so much time off at the start of her role. So that was annoying to have to pay to come back early. But it was good fun. It was good. Just like I said, meeting Junior Reid and all those other reggae artists, it was a dream come true, really. Yeah.
So you're quite in touch with your roots, quite spiritual.
Yeah, definitely.
You've got a Jamaican background, isn't it?
Yeah.
Both parents Jamaican?
Yeah.
Okay,
a lot of people do think I'm African now. It's funny that you say that because a lot of people do think I'm originated from the motherland, which I suppose we all do, but no, my dad was born in Jamdong.
But religion, you said you're quite spiritual.
Yeah.
Have you tried any other religions or would you always just be kind of...
Do you know what? Well, my mum was kind of a Christian. She was forced to go to church, and that's why she never forced us to go. And my dad was like a Rasta, so I don't know. I've always believed in God, I suppose, because I do feel like that's the reason I'm here. It's like I actively tried to kill myself through my drug and alcohol use. But it's funny because today is the 5th anniversary of my cousin's death, Bethany, and she was 29 when she died of cancer. And she left behind a 4-year-old. And I just think she didn't drink or didn't smoke. So why am I still here and she's no longer with us? Stuff like that. I just feel like, what's going on there? But at least she's at peace now. She's not suffering. She's not in pain. But yeah, I've always believed in something, definitely. Because definitely looking out for me. There's this footprints in the sands prayer, and when there's one pair of footprints, it's like, oh God, why have you abandoned me? But it's not when he's abandoned you or she or it, it's when they've carried you. So I don't know. I just feel like I'm here, I'm living life, I'm not going to give my power away to anyone or anything anymore. I'm just going to enjoy the time I've got left. I want to live to be 100 as well, 101. I want to be a centenarian. With all my faculties as well, because my grandma, like, by the year she died when she was not just before her 94th birthday, and the way she ended up, she was really hard working and everything, and she ended up in a hoist with people wiping her bum, and I just wouldn't want that. I wouldn't want that. She was like a prisoner in her own body, and I would hate that. So I want to have all my faculties around me, and just be able-bodied and maybe get a mobility scooter, I don't know, and buy a bus. I want to buy a bus and put it in my back garden.
By what? A bus?
Yeah, I'd love to get a double-decker,
like that
new route master, pimp my bus. But yeah.
That'd be nice.
Yeah. But that's it, really. Otherwise, it's just finding ways to make money, like selling toe clippings on OnlyFans. That's it. But wearing a bag over my head so that people can't identify me. I haven't got an OnlyFans page. I'm sorry. Maybe I need to get one. How do I go about getting one? I don't know. Have you got accounts? Do you watch that stuff?
No.
Do you know what people like?
I know. I've heard stories.
What stories? Tell me. Give me some clues. Give me some ideas. That's another annoying thing I was going to say about being on the bus. Like, people are at the bus stop. It's like, that is a clue. Like, get your pass ready. Some people come on the bus, empty out the contents of their bag and thinking, oh, yeah, I've got a schedule to keep.
Yeah.
But otherwise, no, it's good. It's a really good. You get weekly pay, free travel. My favourite colour is red, and I love driving. But bus driving isn't about driving; it's about stopping at bus stops and picking up people. Some drivers are like, oh, got to get to one end of the route to the other without stopping. But no, you got to have some customer service and safety and comfort of the passengers and that. But I love the free travel you get around London as well. Yeah, it's all good.
That sounds good. It's got the perks, yeah.
It has got perks, man.
Yeah.
It has. It's a good profession. So if you change your mind, you know where to come.
Okay, I'll keep you
Finish your
here.
job.
I can see you got locks in your hair.
Yeah,
I've been very nice.
It's just about the 5th time. I've had a bald head so many times. Like I've shaved it off and then grown it back. And people say, why do you keep growing it back to dreads if you keep shaving it off? But it's like I want the perfect dreads, and it's just, they're organic. They do their own thing. So I'm just gonna not shave it anymore. These are about 10, but they grow one end and pop off the other. So it should be down there, but it's because I don't look after it. I just get up and go, like head and shoulders.
Always had locks and then kind of just shaved it off?
Well, since when I've had my first son, I've had it since then. Because before, my mum would never allow us to have it. Then my dad got them, and then she used to find them all over the house. And then she ended up getting them, and then she shaved hers off. But I've just loved it because my hair doesn't grow otherwise. So, and the thing is, I would have it short, but people keep mistaking me for a lesbian. So it's like I don't want to slap my beef curtains in your face to make you know that I'm a woman. So there you go.
No, fair enough. What's your message to like the people?
My message is just have an attitude of gratitude, really. Have an attitude of gratitude. Don't ever give up. Don't ever give up. That's it. If there's something that you really want to do, I mean, with me, I've got to be honest with myself as well, because I'm never going to be an astronaut. But I might still be a comedian if I don't give up. So don't give up on your dreams. If there's something you really want to do, definitely just have some perseverance, commitment, proper preparation, professional performance, and all that kind of stuff. Be your own best friend. Sometimes nothing makes you crazier than trying to get something from someone who's got nothing to give. Whatever you're trying to seek from others, you've got to give it to yourself. Go within, find that answer from in yourself, and then, yeah, you'll be all right, man. The world is your oyster, pardon the pun. Yeah.
Okay. Since we're on positivity, what's your happiest moment?
My happiest moment? What was my happiest moment? Oh, that is a good question. Maybe passing my bus driving test. It was so good. You know what? I had this guy, right? They do a prelim when you go in, and they take you around in this big red van, and they say whether you have passed or failed, basically. So I did it all, and then the man at the end, Colin Turner, I love that guy. He's why I'm where I am today. He said to me, Tash, I'm going to let you in as long as I'm not your instructor, because you're nuts. And that's what his exact words, you're nuts. So he wouldn't be my actual trainer, but he let me in. Thank you, Colin. God, it's because of him where I am today. Like, yes, now I'm thicker than a Snicker. Yay! Yes, I got girth, and I'm nuts. So there you go. So yeah, it's because of him, man.
Growing up, I remember when the bus used to be 40p.
You know what I mean? I remember them days.
Then it went up to 70p, then £1.20, and etc. Was the bus always red?
The bus was. Well, here it's called the livery. So that it's red here. I think in other places, it's like white. Like when I go Brighton or whatever, it's cream. Or sometimes if it's a different colour, it's because the companies have paid for the advertiser. Like you might see a green bus or like with superstars on it and stuff like that. But they're usually red. And I would have loved to have been around when the old route masters, the RMs, where you're just driving in the front and you've got a conductor dealing with the passengers. I would have loved driving in them times. That would have been the best, because then you're just driving and the instructor's dealing with the passengers. But now we've got to be everything to everybody. I don't understand. Like we should be getting paid as much as the tube drivers. They're just driving the train. We are customer service assistants. We're drivers. We're everything. We've got to do with the controllers the same. We've got to listen to the passengers. We've got to deal with motorists. We've got to deal with everything. So I think that we should get paid more, but it is what it is. Acceptance is the answer. Yes.
Okay. No, I mean, obviously, you've recovered now, etc. Looking back in your past, when you were not in recovery, do you remember going on the bus then?
Yeah, I just remember smoking on the back of the 77. That's when you could smoke on the buses them days. Oh, right. That's the thing. That was like years ago. There's so many things that you can't do now that you could. There's so many cameras around. You can't move. Like, the camera can either convict you or exonerate you. So you just got to be watch everything you're doing at the moment. But yeah, it was fun back in the days on the buses. It really was.
Could you smoke, what is that, the 90s or?
That was, oh God, you know what, I can't even remember when it was. I just remember smoking upstairs in the back seat of the 77. But I think after that, there was some fire at King's Cross years ago. I don't know if it was late 80s or early 90s. And then after that, I think they stopped smoking on public transport, which is probably not a bad thing, especially because I don't smoke anymore. And there's no such thing as there's nothing worse than a reformed smoker. I can't stand people smoking around me. Yeah, so...
Oh, fair enough. Do you remember any crazy stories back then?
Back in the days on the buses?
Yeah, on the bus, yeah.
No.
No?
No, because I started driving quite young. I was 19. My oldest boy, he was 3 months old when I started driving. So it's mainly just driving. I remember just driving around in Beetles and getting home sometimes and not remembering how. And did I knock anybody over? No. Yeah.
Were you a partier back then, or?
Yeah, I was. Used to go raving.
I love raves.
Used to do all that stuff. I can't even remember most of it because I was just having too much fun. Like my 20s, I'm thinking, can I even remember that? Like I said, I had these kids. Do I remember having you? No, not really. The penultimate one, the artist, she was only 3 pounds when she was born. She was born at 7 months, so she was only little. She was like smaller than a chicken wing when she was born. She had to stay in hospital for 6 weeks. So they stitched the other one in to make sure he didn't fall out. But he's all right. He's nearly as big as me now. But bus stories. I can't really. I didn't even think I was going to be a bus driver. My mum wanted me to be a doctor. Like I was going to be a brain surgeon, and I wanted to be an artist. But it's just funny because you make plans. Life happens while you're making plans, and that's the thing. I just think everything that's happened is what's meant to happen. I can really want something, but if it's not meant to be, I can't make it happen. But if it is meant to be, I just can't stop it. And the way my life is at the moment, I didn't even want this. It's like it came and found me. And now I just think it's the best thing that ever happened to me. It really is. My job, I've got a great job. I've got great colleagues. I might moan about it sometimes, but I really wouldn't have it any other way. I really wouldn't. Like I said, if I won the lottery, I'll probably drive buses part-time. I don't want to ever give that up. I always want to be able to drive a bus. But that's the thing. Some people identify as male. Some people identify as female. I identify as a bus driver. I love driving buses. Driving people mad around town. I'd recommend it to anyone. Whereas my daughter, she hates it. She's like, no, don't do it. Don't do it. But me, I would... I'd strongly suggest it's a great career and you get a good pension at the end. I hope. I don't know. But
that should be good, yeah.
Yeah.
Where did you grow up? You said it was south.
Wandsworth. So we lived in like Wandsworth near the Arndale. No, south side. And then we moved to like around Balham, Tooting. So we've always kind of been there around Tooting area.
Okay. And what was it kind of like growing up there? Was there a lot of drug dealing as well? Was the area quite rough?
Nah, like I said, we led a sheltered life. We weren't allowed to play outside.
All right.
So I used to go to violin. I used to do school, and then I used to go to CYM, which is the Centre for Young Musicians, on a Saturday. And really, like, I used to have to sneak out. Yeah, Mum, we've got violin practice. Take the violin with me and go. We weren't allowed to go anywhere, man. Like,
was that Waterloo? Centre
for Young Musicians, yeah. So it used to be at Pimlico School, but then it moved to Morley College, which is at Lambeth North.
I went there.
Oh, did you? Yeah. Were you not where? From the sixth form or?
From year 11.
Okay, yeah.
I used to go on a Saturday. I had like a little thing for a Saturday, yeah.
Oh, so you used to go on a Saturday as well? Yeah. I used to go to CYM. Yeah. But then I got beaten up on the train by these girls, so then I couldn't play the violin anymore for a bit. When I was about 16, 17. I don't know why. I didn't have my glasses on, and some girl thought I was looking at her bad or wrong. I'm thinking, I didn't have my glasses on. So she brought down 30 girls, and they attacked me on the train home between Victoria and Battersea Park, and black on black crime. Why would you do that to your own? I don't understand.
So this on the train?
I got dislocated, yeah. It was dislocated like 3 times. I had to go back to the hospital because 3 times to get put back in, but it was actually dislocated about 11 times. It just kept on falling out. It was really painful.
So she thought like you were looking at her wrong, and then she started a fight.
The next day she brought down like 30 people to come and deal with me. I just thought, ignorance. Yes, so.
Wow.
Yeah, so I couldn't play the violin anymore for a bit after that. It took ages to. I can play it now, but I still haven't really got the full movement of it. But that's what happens. London living.
Yeah. Can I ask how you kind of, or who introduced you to drugs, just out of interest?
Yeah, so drugs in general, weed was my dad. Because he used to he'd rather us smoke with him than go and smoke with others. With drink, it was, I don't know, it's like when we used to go to family parties and stuff like that, I used to just like have a little bit of drinks and stuff like that. With the harder stuff though, that was like a person I was seeing at the time.
Okay, right.
Because I would never have, that's what I'm saying, drink was my thing. I would never have gone to the other stuff if somebody didn't say, oh, here. I was just easily led. I was too fast. But yeah, it was mainly drink. It was mainly alcohol. But then somebody would say, oh, here, try this. Then, because I'm nosy, then I said, yeah, I'll try anything once. I just felt like I was so naive, especially because we lived like a sheltered life. We were inside, so I wasn't very... I say I was streetwise, like I knew how to get around, but when it comes to drugs and stuff like that, I just wasn't really clued up. And because I've got that addictive thing where it's like I can't stop once I start. So that was the annoying thing. I'd love to be able to have a puff in the sun, but it just wasn't my experience. Yeah.
Yeah, I think a lot of people have like addictive personalities.
Yeah.
But I feel like you have quite a positive message.
Yeah.
So if we can, show the video in a way that, you know, what you've come from and where you've gone with it. And then obviously the positive message, which is an outcome.
Yeah. Like I said, I could have ended up inside, and I'm luckily I didn't end up inside. But it is good now to be able to give something back, so that, like I said, going into Brixton on Saturday, and I always used to think, oh God, going into a men's prison, which I love. Thinking, oh, they're gonna take my trainers. Not already. No, I love going into Brixton and do it. That's my favourite bit of service. Like when they say doing service, it means like in the group you've got different positions, like either the secretary or the literature person or the greeter or people that do the readings, or the person that does the chair, like shares their experience, drink for hope. So that's my favourite bit, like going in and taking the message into the people that can't get out. And the real rewarding bit is when they come out into the meetings and you see them in the meeting, they think, oh yeah, I remember you like from Brixton Prison. It happened to me the other day. I went to a CA meeting, which is another fellowship meeting. And the guy recognised me from coming in and he was saying, oh, thanks, like you're the reason why I came. Or so it's good when you can see that something you've said has brought somebody, has made them continue on their journey. Because like I said, not everyone's interested. Some people just do it so they can get out of their cell for a few hours, or so they might shorten their sentence. But more times, it's really good to see that people inside want to get well, definitely, because there was a lot going on with this spice stuff as well. I mean, I'd never had that. I'm thinking about all these things that I'm not going to be able to try now that I'm a teetotaler, but all these new drinks that they've got. But for me, I just feel like, I just always remember the jails, institutions, death, or for me, life in recovery. That's the best choice that I could make for me today. And I've just got to make that living amend by not going back. It's so, like I said, especially times like now, it's so, if I don't keep up what I'm doing, because some people, they go to the meetings or they don't go to the meetings, and then they think that old voice comes back saying, oh, it's a good idea to go and take a drink, and then they can't get back. But for me, I just have to stay connected. Like sometimes I think it's like the mafia. It's like blood in, blood out. If I don't do this stuff, I'm going to end up relapsing. And I never want to relapse. I never want to go back. I've seen what it does to people. Like I said, I have my friend that I lost, and she's not going to be the last either. It's like it happens a lot where people like think they can get a handle on it again, and then they go off and then they don't come back. So for me, I'm sticking around. I say, if you're new, fart glue, stick around, be a boomerang, keep coming back. And I used to hate people, oh, keep coming back, keep coming back. I'm going to keep coming back because I know what it's like if I don't carry on this stuff. I think if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Why would I think that I'm going to be able to manage? It's like sometimes I like doing things like Frank Sinatra, my way, but I just think I've got to listen to somebody else who's got a bit more experience and see what worked for them. If it worked for them, it can definitely work for me. I'm not special and different, So yeah, it's just trying to stay on that road, stay on the path, like no matter what. I don't have to, I'm part of the no matter what club today. I don't have to go back to old coping mechanisms.
No, that's good.
Yeah.
I'm glad you're going in and, empowering people.
Yeah.
Would you say making that change is is it extremely hard?
It is, because it took me a long time. Some people just come in and get it straight away and they never use again from their first meeting. They probably did all their relapsing before, but I kept on relapsing. I kept going out and doing more research. No, I'm different. It's not going to happen to me. That's not going to... But like I said, I went to treatment a few times, 6 times. And it was that last time of going in and staying in. That's what did it for me. Because they've got day programs, they've got part-time programs, they've got... community programs, so yeah, there's help out there if you want it, but some people, they need an intervention. Like some people need to be taken out of society and like sent to Thailand for a month. I would have loved that.
I've seen those. Yeah. Well, that's what celebrities do, don't they?
Yeah, celebrity rehab.
Yeah. Because
but the thing is, you can do that, and then they will still leave and go and do what they're doing. So the person has to be ready. Like when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. And I think I was just ready. I was done. I was sick and tired of being sick. I'd had enough, and I had enough of hurting my family and me, really. You're hurting yourself, but then it's got like a ripple effect. But same ripple effect it has when you're using is the same positive ripple effect when you're clean and in recovery. So we're all kind of getting well and healing together. Well, I hope we're healing anyway. I hope so. I am. I just hope they are too. But there's still a lot of work to be done. But as long as I don't pick up, because once I do, then all bets are off, kind of. So, yeah, here's to another 10 years.
And where do you see your life going, from like this point forward?
From this point forward, definitely more traveling. I want to be like my uncle. He's retired now and he just goes traveling. 1 minute he's in Mexico, then he's in Jamaica, then he's in Gambia. He's actually building a house in Gambia. So that's what I want to do. I just want to travel the world. Retire early and travel the world. That's what I want to do when I finish on the buses. So just trying to save up, and hopefully the pension is still there when I get to that pension age of, I don't know if it's 67 or 68 now, because the government, they're trying to do all kinds of things where they're trying to take what's yours, but try and save up, have a little few pots so that I'm not just relying on what they're giving me. I'll have a little secret stashes there. But yeah, travel. I love traveling. I want to go to Thailand. I would like to go Hawaii. I'd like to go to Japan. I've had a cousin that went to Japan. Maybe Australia. I don't know about Australia, actually. If they still got them COVID rules in, forget it. I was so glad when all that stuff got lifted. I hated that time. It was the worst time. Like, the worst time. I mean, I must admit, I didn't get the vaccine. I was like one of those tinfoil hat wearers. I wouldn't even say tinfoil hat, because a lot of the people that had that stuff, they've got issues now. I had apprentices who had the vaccine, and then they were saying, oh, COVID, I got COVID and it hit me bad. I had the booster and I got it again. So you had the thing that you had and that was supposed to prevent you getting it, and you got it worse, whereas I never got it and I never had it. And I stopped watching the news. I just thought, you know what, I can't. My mind is mad enough. It will make up so many stories and scenarios. I don't need any help from the media. So I just didn't even watch the news after that. I do not watch that stuff today. What
was the kind of main reason you didn't get the vaccine? I didn't get it either.
Because I just felt like it was a ticking time bomb, and in a few years I was going to be dead before my time. I honestly feel like everyone that's taken it, and I know it might sound like a bit of a conspiracy theorist, but I just feel like they're not going to be around for much longer. I know of people that had it, who would have been fine if they didn't have it. So I just think, and there's too many people with side effects, they're not reporting that stuff. When somebody dies or they've got a blood clot, or this person died, have you noticed how many people are dying now? My first question is, did they have the vaccine? And usually they have, but they won't report that.
Yeah.
So, I don't know, there's something sinister going on. It's like Thanos when he clicks his finger and the whole, half the population go. To me, that's what the vaccine is, but it's doing it slowly. And they won't relate it back to the vaccine either. They won't, but I know the truth.
Do you believe any conspiracies? Apart from COVID and vaccine.
COVID? No. What, like aliens?
Anything at all, yeah.
I don't know. I just know that my mind, I will say my mind's quite open, apart from with COVID. But no, not really.
What about, some people think the world's round, some people think the world's flat. And Flat Earth's got quite a big following now.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Well, the only reason I think it's round is because when I was in an airplane, I saw the sun rising. It looked like there was a curve, so it was beautiful. The sky was black, but then you just saw the sunrise. I thought, wow, I just felt like I was at one with nature. I freaking love rainbows. Rainbows are round. You only see half of it. Yeah. Like I said, my kids think I'm gay and they think I'm going to come out one day. They think I'm a fanny muncher. I'm not a fanny muncher. My man's the fanny muncher, all right? Anyway. Keep it clean, Natasha, keep it clean. Yeah.
Okay. Any I think we're gonna call it.
Yeah,
It's been a good talk. Anything you want to share lastly, or you're right. You've shared a couple messages, so
yeah, I just feel like I feel very exposed now. I just feel like what audience is going to see this? And
I mean, looking back, we'll send you the link.
Now I feel like you're judging me as well.
No, of course not.
Oh,
like I said, everyone. I think there's a lot of people that have a addictive mentality.
Yeah,
and
I can see it in my kids as well. Like especially the youngest. Like he's always on. He's on books now. It's either books or this or that, and he's like, oh, I need to get that Harry Potter, but he's got that Harry Potter book, but I want the one with 314 pages. But it's the same book. He realised that there was none missing. It was just a smaller print. So
I think it's about focusing your energy, isn't it?
Yeah.
And focusing because I think I'm like that myself.
Yeah.
So it's just about where I focus my time, really.
Yeah, that's it. And I can put it to good things. That's what I mean. Instead of trying to accumulate, I want to do some feng shui and start decluttering, and because I just feel like I'm a bit of a hoarder at the moment, and the state of your say house or car is like the state of your mind, and I just want to free myself of all these attachments because you can't take any of it with you. So I really want to just start letting go and just freeing myself up, because I just feel kind of like bogged down with all of life's we're like consumers. I'm like a consumer, and I just want to. Spending £600 on clothes. I did some advert. I was gay for pay, basically. I had to do some cancer research advert, and it was me and my friend, and we was just taking pictures. There was no kissing or nothing like that. I wouldn't do that, but I made £600, and I spent it all on clothes. And I thought, why did you do that? That could have been like a trip to Jamaica, but you spent it on clothes that you don't need. So. Learning lessons like that. And the thing is, I'm going to keep repeating the class until I learn the lesson. Like, these things keep happening. It's like God keeps giving me opportunities to act better than I feel, but I'll still like explode, and I feel like, oh, there you go again, Natasha. That was an opportunity for you to act in a different way, but you're still doing the same shit. So that's the thing. I've just got to, like, with the speeding and the impatience and the intolerance, and I've just got to accept and just meet people where they are and accept what is and let go of what was and have faith in what will be. And I know that I will be all right as long as I keep doing what I'm doing. No looking back. So, yeah, I feel good, man. I feel really good. I'm just, keep that attitude of gratitude going, and and stop looking at what other people like, because it's like comparing this, they're better than me. That's what Mum says. Because somebody's got more money than her, she thinks they're better. They're not better than you. They might have more at their disposal, but it doesn't mean they're any better. We're all humans. Like, we're all the same. We all make mistakes. It's about not giving ourselves a hard time, having compassion, having kindness, forgiveness, tolerance, and love. It's all about love. Loving myself so I don't destroy myself, and then emanating that to others, like, or emitting that, like. It's all about love. You sort of like attract what you give. You get what you give. And I think that's why life has got better, because I've just got a bit more generous of spirit. They say that. They say religion is for people that don't want to go to hell, but spirituality is for those that have been there. And I feel like I've been there. Now the only way is up. I've hit rock bottom time and again. And now it's just about, it's like just being free. It's like our spirits. I just don't think our spirits can be... I think we're always here and we've always been here. It's like electricity. We can't be created or destroyed. We're just here. And like, I might be in this vessel at the moment, but I'll never. We've always been here. That's what I think. And we might take a new form, but I just think that everyone's here has always been here. Or those that have gone, they're just here. Like, we're just in another form. We're always here. So there's nothing to lose. I'm not afraid of death. I'm not afraid of all that. I do feel like some people think, is there life after death or heaven and hell and all that stuff? But I just think life is what you make it. You can have a hell on earth, which I did do, but now, because I've managed to turn it around, I just feel like, this might be as good as it gets. So just make the most of it, because you don't know. 1 minute, like my cousin, 1 minute you're there, the next minute you're not. I lost my grandma. I lost my other grandma. You just lose so many people. I just think, actually, tell your family you love them. Tell them, like, just give them a hug. give someone a ring that you haven't called for a long time. Let people know you're thinking about them. Just you're not alone. Sometimes you think you're alone with this stuff, and there's other people going through the same stuff, but because we're not talking, or we're keeping ourselves to ourselves, we're not like sharing the love. Sharing is caring. It definitely is. So, yeah, just want to be. And one of the most generous things you can give is your time. And sometimes I'm just so busy doing it. My little one's trying to tell me something like, oh, what, hurry up. No, have time for him. Like, make time for them so that when you're older, they can make time for you. It's like sometimes we're so busy in the hustle and bustle of life, we're missing them growing up, or we're not seeing what's important. My family, God, I love them so much. They're my reason for being. Sometimes I know I like my bitch and moan. Like I'm the CEO of the Bitch and Moan Society, but I love them kids, man. They are, but really, it's for them. And on days where I can't do it for myself, I do it for them, kind of. But I just, yeah, I love them kids, man. Yeah, they're the reason that I had to pull myself up out of the mire, because I do honestly think that I would be dead if I didn't have them. I didn't have a reason. Don't get me wrong, I know people that haven't got kids and they're doing the same thing, but for me, personally, when I look at them, I think, wow, that's my legacy. Like, now I've got a little grandson as well. Oh, little Asher named after Granny Tasha. Like, I just feel like I'm so blessed. I am blessed. I am blessed every day of my life. I am blessed. Sorry. When I wake up in the morning and I lay my head to rest every day of my life, I am blessed.